our match, our wildcard, taking on the Chiefs. Both of these teams have fallen short of the mark. Mandy, I don't want to be too harsh, but they are our bottom-rated teams so far in APAC South for Stage 2.
Yeah, it's unfortunately very difficult to look past that for both these teams, especially for Wildcard, I would say. They had the most incredible start to APAC South. We thought that their fairy tale story was just the most incredible thing. We were so excited to go back on that Wildcard dynasty that we knew back in 2020, but not to be said, as eventually all the other teams overtook them in the standings, and now they're left in the bottom two with the Chiefs.
It hasn't been the greatest storyline, but there have been moments of joyous occasions, I guess, Dev. I don't really want to put it all in a negative light. The wildcard that we knew from Stage 1 felt like they'd shrugged off, and Stage 2 was looking good, but certainly the last couple of weeks haven't been convincing.
So you do or don't want to put it in a negative light? Because I got some yarn to spin for you.
Wildcard
won their first 2 games over against Fury and Direwolves, both 7-5s. They were first on the standings, and since then they have lost every single game in regulation. They have not got a point since Playday 2. If they lose this game in regulation, they end up last on the standings.
Yeah, this is even worse. A battle,
Which is worse than what they did in Stage 1, by the way.
Wow, this is just not great.
First place to last place, it could well be for this team if they lose in regulation to the Chiefs today.
Speaking of the Chiefs, I guess they've probably got as much pride on this game on the line, Mandy. They are well and truly... this is, if you've ever wanted to see a story of a team that's risen so quickly but fallen equally in the amount of time, this is probably the roster you want to look at.
Yeah, for sure. For the Chiefs, they looked like they were holding a dynasty, especially here in OS. We always turn to them for the team that would consistently go to these international events and be proving their name for OS. But now coming into Stage 2, the period of adversity they're going through just keeps elongating. It gets longer and longer, and it feels like we're never going to see the Chiefs that once was. But Digital, in that last interview, going on about how much they needed that last win, how excited they were to finally get a win under their belt, might spark something brand new for this team.
Dev, is anything about this image? Damn it, he just walked back in. I was going to say, is it foreshadowing anything? I'm so pissed, Digital. Get out of the frame again. Who knows what's to come for Stage 3, but we certainly know what's to come for tonight, and that is the Vetoes. We got to find out what map that we're going to be heading to. I don't know who I favour heading into this matchup, because I think that both have an equal amount on the line. Both have not been convincing or impressive enough. And we got a KAFE. I feel like that is definitely mid-territory for both of these teams, Dev.
KAFE is a weird one. Haven't seen KAFE in a long time. Neither team has played it since May, which has been a hot minute. Yeah, not a commonly played map. Wildcard lost it to Knights in OCS, which is Nationals. And aside from that, they haven't played it in all of Stage 1. Chiefs lost it to Elevate in the APAC playoffs in the close 5-7. So, once again, we're going to a map that we don't really get to see very often as well, just like Chalet. So yeah, I'm a bit unsure about which way this one will go.
Mandy, any thoughts? I mean, this is a... I feel like this map just has not been in meta for quite some time now, and it's certainly strange to see this come out as the deciding map here.
Yeah, look, I'm just going to say it's the final day of APAC South. You may as well just show your hand, right? There's no point in holding anything back. It's the end. Just do what you can. Try and practice what you can as well. So for both these teams to take us to something that we haven't seen before, I'm not surprised by. There's no reason for them not to. The only asterisk I have a little bit is that Chiefs will start on the attack, Wildcard will start on the defense. And we just saw in the last graphic that this map is in fact defender-sided, so you'd think that Wildcard can start to run away with the first few points and try and swing the momentum in their way. But really, it's KAFE. We haven't seen this map in such a long time. Do stats really matter anymore? Who knows? I think this game will just tell for itself.
I feel like I'm speaking to two stat nerds here, so I can't believe you've just said that, Mandy. How dare you? But we do go to KAFE, Chiefs and Wildcard. This is the battle for bottom place, and to run you through it, it's two of the best in the game. It's Guz and Xenox.
Wildcard's kind of had the wood over the Chiefs in recent times, but a lot of teams have. Of course, the Chiefs went through some troubles that we probably didn't expect them to have in Stage 2, but in some ways, looking like maybe a bit of a renaissance is on the cards to close out the stage, whereas Wildcard, guys, they started strong, and boy, they've fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, they really have. It has been a very disappointing conclusion to the stage for Wildcard, and they'll look to salvage something in this match. Salvage what? I don't quite know because, I mean, realistically, there's not much to find. However, these teams will want to scathe off any relegation threat and try and build into Stage 3.
If we went back to May, June, and you were looking at the wonderful DevMarter match tracker that he's always been an amazing creator of, it's all green for Wildcard, all red for the Chiefs. But in recent times, basically in July, there's been a little bit of a turnaround. Chiefs have started to find some form. Wildcard on the downward spiral. Can they maybe stop the rot here on the final Playday of Stage 2 of APAC South? Or could the Chiefs continue to maybe regain some form going into Stage 3? Of course, remembering, guys, they're a team that will be still trying to get to SI next year.
Yeah, that's the big storyline, I think, for Chiefs. It's all about the long-term game, right? This match, this stage, it's not going to have any positive bearing on that expectation. But for the third and final stage of the year, the Chiefs are still in with the chance. They did attend the first major of the year. They banked a nice amount of points. And if they can roll that into a recovery effort in Stage 3 and, I guess, completely write off and forget this second stage, then who knows? They could be off to Montreal or wherever Invitation is going to be held in 2022, or 2023. So, yeah, it's going to be a very interesting storyline, I think, for the Chiefs going forward. And surprisingly, when the pressure's been off them here towards the back end of this stage, it's when they've looked their best. So who knows what's in store for them going forward, whether that be roster changes or role swaps or whatever they're going to do to improve. But it's certainly going to be interesting to just sit on the sidelines and watch that develop.
Alrighty, let's get on the way. Kitchen cooking here for our second match of the night for APAC South. Final Playday for Stage 2. And obviously for both of these two teams, it's the battle of the bottom in this instance, and who can get out of that 8th spot. Chiefs must win in regulation if they want to achieve that. It would give them the head-to-head and would put them up into 7th. And for Wildcard, a win here could still give them a somewhat decent stage, especially if they get a regulation win. They would go to 9 points, 3 out of 7 wins. It's not a horrible stage, but it just is the fact that they won their only 2 games back in Playday 1 and Playday 2. Also, Wildcard, guys, if you want a Xenox fun fact, why not? I'll give it to you anyway, even if you didn't ask. They're the only team that has not played in overtime this stage. Can they get through all 7 Playdays without going to OT?
That could certainly be a really exciting storyline to latch onto in this match. Because
we take what we can get, mate.
We are scraping the bottom of the barrel a little bit in this match if we want to be completely realistic, but hopefully we'll have a bit of fun. KAFE, perhaps a map that doesn't lean itself into offering that word, but maybe these teams will get a little bit creative knowing that there's nothing really to lose.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really to lose. You think about sort of what is there to gain. I mean, technically, even for the Chiefs, they can't get SI points from this. So there's not a whole lot, but I think form is a big factor if you are the Chiefs. In fact, actually for both teams going into Stage 3, when you look at Wildcard, they've run out of chances, guys. The rebuild that happened last year from what was, of course, the 2020 iteration of Wildcard and the strength of that team through to 2021 and a bit of a rebuild phase. Like, we're in Stage 2 now. This team's been around together for a little while. You know, the likes of Cairo, Moloska that have come in and done a great job. It's time that they start getting results. And they kind of teased us a little bit back in Playday 1 and 2, but since then it's been same old Wildcard. -12 round differential now. They've not really been able to get close in these games. They need to finish strong. Otherwise, Stage 3, it could be another bottom place finish for them.
Could well be. Honing in, though, on round number 1. It is Kitchen, of course. I don't think we had much of an opportunity to really discuss bans, but I'm sure we can bring that up a little bit later. Fuse being employed here from Digital, an operator that doesn't see all too much game play, but on a site like down below in Kitchen, a lot of soft floor up above, being to get to work with those hockey pucks. Doesn't really land onto any of the enemy players down below, but perhaps dealing with a little bit of utility. Wildcard still holding relatively strong positions and relatively uncontested at the moment. So Chiefs need to get to work with 40 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, the fact that they've not found anything yet is concerning. Obviously, they've got vert control up above, Kitchen cooking, but yeah, Wildcard still just have full site control. So unless the Chiefs can find something from, you know, holding the floor up above, does think they're going to be able to take this round. Or you could just be Ethan on Finker and just drop an LMG everyone. That is also a very viable strategy that we've seen a lot of players and teams employ in recent times. Nice shot from Cairo, anticipating the sit above. And he gets Ethan off of that diffuser as well. So not only did he not plant it, but he dies as well for it. Now in a 2 versus 1, Vincier just has to play for time. And Wildcard should be able to close out and win this round. He sees the diffuser as well. They can't get there in time, and they can't get to Vinny in time either. It's a messy, messy round and kind of indicative as to why both teams 7th and 8th respectively. But a round win for Wildcard nonetheless.
Yeah, doing a good job to hold down the positions that they had established for so deep into the round. Again, they weren't contested all too hard by the Chiefs, who did play their cards really late into that hand, but ultimately it didn't pay off, and Cairo was enabled to pounce there. A player that's been performing very well for Wildcard. Not quite enough to sort of lift them out of the position they find themselves in, but still a very promising player going forward. As to whether or not that future is with Wildcard, we'll have to wait and see. I would hope so, at least for stage 3.
He's spilling the teammate. What's going on?
I'm not spilling any tea.
No tea?
I'm just saying, I think a player as capable as Cairo, if, let's say, hypothetically, Wildcard fail again next stage, surely he's hot property.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong there. A good rise for Cairo from Challenger League to Nationals to APAC South, and who knows what the future could hold. Very talented player for Wildcard. Arguably their best player, and by a pretty decent measure as well. If you go by the CGG ratings, 1.11. The next best is 1.0. That's a big gap. +8 KD, +5 entry, so generally has a lot that he has to do for this team to help them find success. Really just needs everyone else to kind of just stand up and help out. And generally, at the start of this stage, we go back to the first 2 playdays, but Milo and Vinny were hot property, and boy, they've dropped off big time in the last couple of weeks. So 2 players that could really look to refine some form to close out this stage.
Chase looking to open up top of red. I'm a little bit confused as to how that wall was getting jammed. Am I missing something, or what operator from Wildcard is jamming the wall? I am feeling very, very sick at the moment, so perhaps my mind has gone missing here. Anyway, I'll pretend I didn't say that or didn't see it, as Bounson sees that. Milo punished for the jump out.
Right now, if you're Wildcard, you pretend you haven't
Actually,
seen
it'll
this round.
be the bulletproof camera. That'll be what it is. Interesting strategies here from Wildcard, I must say.
And Cairo getting aggressive over towards Yano. Minute 20. Tried to find that kill on the rappel of the window. Bounson survives. And he's still sitting in backstall. Wildcard can still win this round if they find a couple of kills back. And Cairo able to just sort of reposition now over to White Corridor. Can play washrooms and Pixel. Still throw out those Kiba barriers and sort of reinforce these positions. It's not as if it's all hope lost. The Chiefs have not been a clinical team, and this stage, these are the kind of rounds that they've lost. It's something that has become a bit of a habit. That is a wonderful, wonderful shot from Vincier. Ethan falls, no more Finker, and suddenly, only the 1-player advantage for the Chase. 40 seconds on the clock, and not a whole lot of position really has been gained here on this Bar Cocktail site.
.30 seconds. Vinny with another swing as Boydie connects with a grenade. Cairo now needs to step up, but Boydie slaps him down.
Shot.
Now Vinny in the 1v4. Position revealed. Goes for the swing. Doesn't land. Neither does the second. Neither does the grenade. Vinny now with the pistol in hand. But that does land, and the Chiefs take round 2.
Yeah, too much work to do there for Vinny, but credit to Boydie. He's the one that really opened it up. Took control of Cocktail, got a couple of big, crucial kills. I really thought Cairo was going to be able to shut him down, and had he done that, round would have been very winnable for Wildcard, but, you know, credit Boydie. Big nade, big kill, and open things up. Chiefs get the round, but again, not clinical, not clean. You know, in a 5v3, a Bar Cocktail, not a lot of time left. Some concerning issues still for the Chiefs in the way that they sort of play as a team. Ethan dying for nothing, basically. Vinny, that was a great shot, though, but the Chiefs still just not that clinical, clean Chiefs that we're used to seeing, obviously, back in 2021 and even back in Stage 1.
Over the reading then for the third round. Pretty interesting setup there. Cairo on the Aruni.
Yeah, and the other thing as well with Pat dying super early. So Pat has basically the worst survival in APAC South when it comes to percentage, 16%. And you kind of want someone like Pat to be staying alive late game, especially if he's playing things like Mute Shotgun and has a Nitrocell. You know, you think about that kind of utility. You want that for the late game. You don't want him going out early. You know, you want him to hold down and anchor positions, not sitting in shop and dying to a nade in a minute.
Milo to get aggressive now over towards shop to try and counter the red hatch drop from the Chiefs. Sledge used to open that up. And the pacing, basically what you would expect here on KAFE. Relatively slow and steady, particularly in the early phase as the attack burns ahead. Can't just drop for free on this map. Otherwise, Milo, good example of a player that will be able to cut you down. Those key barriers as well will potentially cause some issues. As he's just scampering around, seeing if he can find a couple of drones for his troubles. Chiefs will no doubt know that it's clear through shop quite soon. And this entry should follow soon after.
Very slow pacing, isn't it? The Chiefs are very much playing into KAFE. Slow and steady, a lot of repel game, a lot of drone work, not really looking to get aggressive and do anything. It's all by the book. It's all just standard Siege. It's really, I guess, what we've come to expect with KAFE really as a map. It's been around for such a long time. The innovation on it is well and truly long gone, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to play such a slow style. I mean, when you kind of look at where we're at right now, you would think that we've got about a minute 40, minute 50 left on the clock, but it's a minute 15 as Vinny finds a great kill onto Worthy. He's had a very difficult stage as well, a singular perspective as Bouncing gets to run through backstore. Oh, they've just completely let him run straight into Cocktail. I don't know what they were both looking at. Looked like they were having a tea party. They get control, but it's Wildcard that have the numbers.
Visual up above on the vert. Often looks good on vert, but not that time. It's a double nitro from Pat to close out the round. He survived that round, Jake.
He did. And what did he survive with? Nitrocell. So it's the difference, though. It's the little things, and I'm not just picking on Pat. I think it's the issues for Wildcard this stage have been entirely a team effort. But it's those little things. That's the difference between winning and losing rounds throughout the course of an entire stage, throughout the course of an entire season. Those add up. And you position better, you get a good Nitrocell, you get a couple of kills. You let your fraggers do the work in the early portions of the round. You don't have to be so far out and look at sort of, you reap the rewards of that. So really, really well played from Wildcard there. But again, you kind of question the Chiefs, the slow pace. You take our minds back to what we saw Game of Gladiators Nights. I know it's on Chalet, attacker-sided and all of that, but the pacing was so good in the way that both teams were using their drones and getting information, site control, getting into the site, finding early kills, all of those things. Both of those two teams, so effective at doing. Right now, it's the Chiefs are just playing such a slow, methodical play style, and I think that's going to actually play into Wildcard. I think Wildcard is a team that succumbs to pressure, succumbs to teams that are going to be aggressive against them. If Chiefs are playing slow, Wildcard's happy with that.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what the pacing's like for this round, but with Mirror on the board, I don't think it's going to speed up all too much. It's going to be tricky to deal with. I guess you would typically anticipate Alibi to not be banned out over a Mirror, but look how powerful she is in the current meta and just the way in which teams attack. Having Alibi available plus a deployable shield, quite gnarly, and is frequently banned out, at least in my rank stacks, because she's just a pain to deal with, and it seems like she has something to do with it at all in this game, but it does mean that additional or different obstacle of the mirror will still stand. Digital will be the main player to deal with that though, with his ex-Kairos launcher, Worthy as well with EMP. So it's not like the Chiefs are short of util in dealing with that, and once they have, that will open some paths in towards the site itself.
Credit to Wildcard in the way they're playing defensively too, not playing into the slow nature of the Chiefs. I think sometimes if you're on the defense against the Chiefs and the way they're playing, you almost get a little antsy. You always want to run at them and spawn peek and swing windows because you know they're repelling, you know they're slow, you know they're on drones, all of that. But no, Wildcard just holding their ground, holding their positions, playing defensively. They know the Chiefs are going to take a lot of time, almost too much time. You know, you got the mirror. You don't need to be too aggressive. You don't have to be up on stage. You don't have to even be in Cigar Shop. Just sit back, wait for the Chiefs to basically eat their own time. Minute 10 left, and you're only just dropping top red. I mean, that's a really slow round, really slow pacing. And it's just going to benefit Wildcard more than anything. And look, the Chiefs have the skill to win out a gunfight on site, as this mirror's going to get destroyed, or maybe not actually, gets jammed, but yeah, everything just got in the way of Wildcard here. Chiefs are just lacking in aggression.
Worthy only has one more EMP, so he'll have to make that one count. And yeah, a lack of aggression here from the Chiefs, but Wildcard aren't really having to do all that much. Vinny, though, aggressive, that was a questionable decision. Gives Chiefs a back into this round. Now we're 3 on 3.
Yeah, as soon as he just vaults that, you know that he's gone a little too deep. Now, Pat, at this point, has to make a play. Don't mind that. Gets the kill onto Ethan. Traded by Boydie, 2 versus 2. And Boydie's low, and Worthy has to get this diffuser. Sitting in the middle of Bar, pushes his way back over to the bomb chassis. Kyra, though, great position with the Nitro Cell in hand. Good swing from Milo. Gets the down, gets the kill. They know where Worthy is as well on Bar. Get the first couple attacks. Kyra actually falls inadvertently, and now it's a low health Worthy versus Moloska. And Worthy gets away from him too, gets a good reposition into backstore. What has gone wrong? What is this defense from Wildcard? What has happened? How have they switched sides? What is going on? Oh, Milo's dead here. Oh, maybe not. What is it? I don't even know how to call it. Milo wins. Ring around the rosy. Both chasing each other, and Milo comes out on top. He'll get the counter defuse. Wildcard will get the round. Look, 7th versus 8th. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I don't want to make any enemies, so I'm just not going to say anything. But yeah, yeah, it's been an intriguing first 4 rounds, and we'll leave it at that. Over to Kitchen now for the 5th round. Chiefs need to pick it up. It's been too slow. It's been too sloppy. Wildcard though, on the flip side, giving way too many win conditions back in positions where they should be well and truly winning out these rounds comfortably.
Boydie is really standing up though and having a very, very good game, 6-2. Solid performance so far from an individual perspective, but from that team perspective, it's been lacking for the Chiefs. I will say though, of course, Guz, we both know KAFE defenders generally have quite a bit of success on this map. It's a map that defenders have generally always had success on. We've only seen it twice though this stage, and it's about 50-50. When it comes to actually all of the sites, just all slightly edging to the defenders. So maybe not as one-sided as it used to be back in the day. Attackers have gotten a bit better, but still, this is a very strong half from Wildcard, and I would imagine 1 round away from at least solidifying a 4-2 at minimum is a win for them. But they haven't necessarily done a whole lot either. Sitting back, standard siege on the defense, playing into the Chiefs, and anytime that they've actually gone to make a bit of a play, you saw Vinny with the vault, it all comes undone. So it's actually better for Wildcard to just not do anything.
Yes, I would tend to agree. Let's see if the pacing though steps up a little bit here from the Chiefs. This is a top-down attack, so it needs to be speedier. And so far, that will be the case. Bounce and Boydie, both in the building. What's the roam game like though from Wildcard? Doesn't look like it's really extensive up above at all, to be honest. So should be pretty free real estate for the Chiefs, and they'll want to make moves elsewhere.
I wonder if there's even going to be much of a roam, even for kitchen cooking. And look at that lineup, and it just suggests to me a bit of a hold on site. Minute and a half. I mean, just nothing happening in these rounds. Not really a roam that I can evidently see from Wildcard. Everyone's on site, even giving up vert control for free. But, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this, really. The hold itself is fine. And I think this is a better round from the Chiefs in at least getting up above, train, mining, opening up these floorboards, and looking to obviously establish that vertical position.
Bomb located by attackers.
Now with a minute to go, the Chiefs will need to convert this into something a little bit more meaningful. Haven't been able to find a pick. Still utility on site as well that is standing, namely those keeper barriers, reinforcing the coffee position for OJ. So it's all just feeling a little bit awkward once again here for the Chiefs. Wildcard just need to hold firm and not give away the openings they did last time.
Still got to clear out this VIP player as well, Pat. That's not going to be easy. They do get OJ on site. Now it's going to be go time here for the Chiefs. And Milo responding by getting the move on. Pat really can't do a whole lot. He's just holding a bit of a linchpin. Cairo on site, falls to Digital, who is in on site with that diffuser, but low on health, has to stand up as well, and does so. 2 big kills for Dig. Pat as well now has to make the move from VIP, and it's a defense that is starting to come undone for Wildcard. Credit to the Chiefs. They've sliced on through. Big play from Digital on site. Does ultimately fall, though, to Vincia, but damage done. To drop down, get 2 kills, get plant down. It's a big job from Digital. 2 big kills from Vinny. He just teabagged. He literally just teabagged the diffuser. Can't get this, though.
He can't win it from here. There's too much vert. Watching the angle, the moment he goes for it, he's going to get popped in the head. Boydie will round the corner. There it is. Well done by the Chiefs. And it was that vert play, really, that did salvage it for them. OJ, I thought he was safe, completely safe, but that keeper barrier allegedly or apparently was dealt with, I guess. We didn't see it, but...
Well, the first one he threw
lost
out
his
was
life.
dealt with immediately, and then I think the other one after that as well got worked on too, and then, yeah, he dies for the eventual push. So, yeah, really, really well played from the Chiefs. They had a bit more time. Do you have to sort of wonder, when you're playing kitchen cooking, why there's 0 defense up above, train and mining, but, you know, obviously, as we've kind of been saying for Wildcard, it's just all about not making mistakes. And I guess if you don't want to make those kind of plays and play that way, then yeah, I guess sitting on site, playing through VIP, that's going to be the way to go. They had a player in Bakery, but Chiefs never even gave it a look. I mean, this is they didn't even open Bakery at all. So you kind of knew where they were going to be coming from.
Well, round 6 now, the final of the half, and we go over towards breeding for Wildcard's opportunity to extend the lead, or the Chiefs' chance to equalise the scoreline 3 apiece. Bit more of a roam here on offer from the defense, and as you would expect, it's up above in Cocktail and Angles all the way through to a Lounge, and with that mirror in play in the hands of Molosca, it does facilitate a little bit more aggression offside up above. Parcel as well being deployed just to, I guess, fortify it even further. I don't mind that, especially in the washrooms, and OJ will probably hit the barricade so that he can go for a speedy escape later on in the round if required. And all this means is the Chiefs need to make sure that their timing is once again a little bit quicker.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit of a difference to take into account in the last round. You know, you get to sort of that vert position minute 20, I'll be generous, maybe even a minute 30, largely because it's uncontested, but it gives you more time, and then you're not rushed. You can sort of break down that defense a little bit better, a little bit quicker, and you just find yourself in a better position overall. And then you're able to put yourself in a position where you can find kills, get confidence, and it's just all a snowball effect, isn't it? So you look at Boydie, 8-2, clearly having an incredible performance at the moment. Digital with a big play in that last round too, getting in onto site, 2 kills and the plant down. So, you know, just starting to see the effects of the Chiefs really playing on confidence. If they get a couple of rounds, I feel like Wildcard, is the kind of team to drop their heads a bit and honestly succumb to the pressure. Bounces low. Takes a bit of damage early, again for nothing, but yeah, minute 30. And you wonder what have the Chiefs sort of established here. OJ finds the opening kill into Bounce it. He already got tagged up and then finds himself dead anyway. Really good position here in washrooms with the mirror for OJ.
Yeah, don't mind this. Quite defensive, but equally aggressive with the angles that he can also expose over towards that new bulk drop. Vinny getting flashed out though over towards Cocktail. Don't know how much support OJ can provide from his position, but Milo is alongside to aid. Digital does eventually cut down that player in washrooms, and Milo uses that as a cue to try and fall back. He makes it out, but Vinny does not. I thought Milo would, but he is well taken down.
Yeah, and for nothing too. Now Kyra should find a kill here, unless Upside Down Repel just gets away from him, and yeah, and it looks like it has. That's going to be pretty much round over now, you would think, and a 3-3 half in the end, and means a bit of a saving of the half for the Chiefs after a bit of a dismal start, down 1-3. They've brought it back, and it's Wildcard's turn to kind of just peter out a little bit and not really have much success go their way. That one bouncing into the Sawyer gate to get rid of it first, and then the second one to open up the barricade. 19 seconds left, Pat up close with that shotgun. It's all about staying alive, and he's done that job. Nitrocell maybe didn't find the mark, but the shotgun up close can certainly do so. Swings, and that's one down. Diffuser, and no one responded. He did his job, and unfortunately fell at the exact same tile. And it's a Chiefs round win to close out the half, 3-3.
Yeah, really clean sweep there up above from the Chiefs. Doing a good job to just lock it in there at the end, despite Pat's best efforts with the shotgun up close. Keeps it very close in terms of the context of the match now as well. Difficult to split both teams who have not looked at their very best, but have had some good moments. Back downstairs we go for Chiefs' first defensive round. And I would anticipate a slightly more aggressive roam compared to what we saw from Wildcard.
Very intrigued to see how aggressive Wildcard's going to get here on the offense, and whether or not they just kind of go balls to the wall and look to be aggressive from the onset. Because some of these picks as well, you know, if you got like a Finker and a Jackal, you can really get moving quick and don't dawdle, don't let that clock tick down for basically nothing. I don't know why that was the case in the first half. I know KAFE is a map that you can't necessarily speed run, but you still can get through your objectives a little bit quicker. In the end, it worked out for the Chiefs. I mean, to get 3-3, that's fine. It does play into the statistical numbers that we have for KAFE and APAC South. It is a 50-50 kind of map now. So, in the end, it is now up to Wildcard, though, to sort of, again, play into what has been a bit more of an attacker side of KAFE in recent times and show us their aggressive playstyle, mainly through Cairo. Cairo on that Finker is going to be their biggest win condition that they have in finding rounds.
Cairo given the Finker license in this match, and probably one of the scarier players in the lobby to wield that operator. And I'm sure Wildcard, the plan will be to try and facilitate him to find as many kills as possible. Entry over towards reception. And there is a player inside of Coach Jack. That's the Jaeger, pacing down an ADS. Will now back off. It's Bouncing, who's been flashed. Needs to be careful here.
Cairo, there it is, Finker, LMG, surprise, surprise, and yet no one is actually surprised. Wildcard taking the early advantage here in the 7th round and finding a kill. There's a minute 55 on the clock, and look, Wildcard making things happen straight away, right? Not dawdling, not just waiting for things to happen. They are making things happen here on the attack, and if that is something to think is going to be a trend here in the second half, it's going to be something the Chiefs need to work out and how to defend. If Wildcard is going to be aggressive,
Jackal in play, of course. Love to see how much of an impact OJ can have in this round, spotting out someone down below. I'm not entirely sure who that is, but it looks like they are on site. So Wildcard might look to work a bit of vert here. Finny will make his way down. He's probably the best operator to do it. OJ now with Brownstairs control as well to try and choke out this player in VIP. That's Digital, who is going to be under quite a bit of pressure.
50 seconds remaining in the round. OJ. Far stairs. Cairo, Gasu from the window. That's the kill onto Digital, and now Wildcard have really opened up a significant advantage here in the 7th round. Good drone as well from Vinny. Up above. 4 drones left for Wildcard. 30 seconds left as well for Wildcard, and now making their push towards site here. And look at Cairo. He has the ping. He's got the information. Worthy takes a big chunk of damage. He's forced back upstairs as well on the run towards top red. Boydie, though, has been single-handedly the best player for the Chiefs in this game. He makes another big play. 3 versus 3. Boydie through the wall. Turn around. Shot onto Vincere. Sits him down. Oh, it's the Boydie show on KAFE.
What a round from Boydie, lining up that kill feed, and he's been on a bit of a heater so far in this match. A little bit concerning for Wildcard, who continually struggle to shut him down even whilst having him pinched in a corner in that round. Still just could not find the trade to save themselves. Nice swing to start things off there. Onto OJ. Vinny getting turned on. And of course, you got the final one onto Pat, left in the 1v3. Overall, really well played. And the Chiefs off to a good start here on the defense.
So Chiefs take the lead after being down 1-3. That says a lot about this team as well, guys. You know, this is a team that has had some really high highs. You know, 4-time champions locally back in 2021, and have gone to majors. And while they've had obviously a dismal stage, down 1-3, and you kind of just want it all to come to an end, they still fight back. And it's a credit there. And this is kind of what I said in the pre-match discussion, that if they can win this, get a bit of form, obviously you win this in regulation, you're off that bottom of the standings position. You've taken a couple of results towards the back end of the stage, going into stage 3. It can be a reigniter. Maybe you won't even need to make roster changes. Maybe you can sort it out in the off-season as a team. Go back, look at the VODs, improve, train, get better. I think when you look at what this team has achieved, can they do it again? I still think the answer is yes. And they're showing that as well in these games. It doesn't mean much when it comes to going up the standings a whole lot. You know, from 8th to 7th, you're not getting SI points, not a lot more money, but it all matters. So credit to them. And now the same has to be said for Wildcard. They've got to respond here. They've lost 3 rounds in a row. They need to find a way back to fight. And they've just lost Pat, so that doesn't help either.
It's not going to help his survival percentage, unfortunately.
Well, I don't know. Does that count towards survival?
Well, he didn't survive, but he also didn't die.
Yeah.
So it's a grey area.
Null and void.
Bomb located by attackers.
See what Wildcard can do, though. A man down. Don't think the Chiefs will be feeling too inclined to make a play. They'll just sit back and chill out. Wait for Wildcard to encroach their positions. Bouncing probably the first engager towards Pixel. Engaged from the window, but he exposed himself to Pixel angle. So OJ gets a freebie, and now it's a 4-on-4.
90 seconds remaining in the round. As you said, 4 versus 4 with Bouncing's elimination, evening up the pack disconnect. 12-2 Boydie sitting inside a freezer. What more has he got to sort of show off here on KAFE? It's turning into Boydie's playground. Digital to dodge that nade, and does so. If they've not cleared out that Boydie position, I don't think Wildcard win the round. That Boydie is the biggest win condition here.
Still in freezer, undetected. The nade's flying out over towards Cocktail, but Digital weathers that storm alongside Worthy. Ethan below hits that shot onto Vinny. OJ does shut down Boydie though, keeping things interesting.
Yeah, and it just opens up sight a little bit, doesn't it? And now Chiefs have to scramble on the defense, but scramble they do. Digital got one, traded back. Milo and Cairo, so the last 2 now alive for Wildcard, and Worthy and Ethan in response for the Chiefs. Cairo, good shot from White corridor, now down White stairs. Ethan, oh, he just doesn't swing in time. Cairo outplays him there on White stairs. And Wildcard do respond. Yeah, a bit of a half swing. And in the end, a bit of a half measure does mean the Chiefs lose out that round. 4-4 on the scoreboard here for the battle of the bottom. Of course, Chiefs need to win in regulation to get out of last place. Anything in overtime, and of course a regulation win for Wildcard, and they will avoid that bottom spot.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Well, fortunately for us, Pat is back in the game, so no rehost. He's able to reconnect. Good for us. We head over towards reading now for round 9. And the Mirror once more going to play a part up above for the extension, for the roam, up through Cocktail. They're both teams keeping it relatively basic in this match, but probably to be expected. That said, one of those mirrors placed in train to
10
just
seconds left.
ensure that the threat of a horizontal take doesn't go unchecked. And
Attackers must
let's see what the Chiefs can achieve this time around. Of course, Boydie didn't have much of an impact in the last round, but the Chiefs did do an awful job trying to navigate that.
Well, I mean, his position is the impact, right? Obviously, he just loses out that fight. But by holding that position in Freezer, that is his sort of way of impacting the game. And that's kind of what he's been able to do on the offense in that first half as well. The only difference is obviously impacting the scoreboard a little bit more in the first half. Sometimes it goes sort of astray when it comes to Siege, so focused on kills and numbers. Sometimes you forget about the support players and the way that they can kind of impact the game. Dealing with the hard breach mini games and flank watch and getting the plant down. All those little things don't necessarily get noticed as much. And even just holding a certain position and holding certain angles.
Pyro now to drop down.
Well, he's the one that you're always going to keep an eye on, isn't it? Those fraggers.
Especially on the entry. On the Finker, no excuses for him to not find 1 or 2 here. Already pressuring Cocktail, and I can assure you, none of those defenders are going to want to re-peek that angle. Worthy falls to Molosca, and the LMGs reign supreme. Pyro has an inkling on the flank up red. He gets that for free as well.
Good start of the round for Wildcard. And good to see them responding as well. And suddenly this entire match turning into a bit of a banger here. Shots go out. And a Claymore kill as well for Milo on Boydie, who tried to make something happen there. 2 rounds in a row for no return from Boydie. So maybe they've just started to shut him down a little bit. Nice nitro assault from Ethan and Digital with a shotgun late into the round, as he does so often for the Chiefs. Digital is always that last line of defense, and that's a crucial kill. Still has 2 gas babes available on the smoke. 60 seconds left in this round, but Cairo has Cocktail control above, along with Vincier now in backstore. Cairo with that diffuser in hand, in a 2 versus 2. Who's going to come out on top here in the 9th round?
I don't know. You'll have to wait and see, Jake. Unfortunately, my foresight not that good, and in the 2v2, a little bit tricky. A little bit tricky.
It's the Chiefs. They come out.
Nah, I think it's Wildcard.
Okay, well, I've seen the script, so they must have given you the wrong one.
I got the revised edition.
Yep. 30 seconds left. Drop down into laundry. They both go together. It's a tandem duo. Vinny's now straight into reading. Where's the Chiefs, though? They've just left things open a little bit. And Cairo, oh, what a shot from Digital! And then, obviously, Vinny trying to take out the default camera. He's looking up, but in position, perfectly positioned. And the Chiefs, as the script does suggest, guys, take out the round.
I was wrong. Would have backed Cairo in to win that duel on White Stairs, but clearly the shotgun, I believe it was Digital, right?
Yep,
That one.
yep.
Too good. Never doubt Digital.
Look at that microphone. Has he got like a radio career ahead of him?
Oh, I thought he was stealing your job next stage.
He probably could do that. Definitely would provide much better analysis, but lucky on the play-by-play. So I guess he's taking your job.
I have a job next stage.
So 5-4 scoreline now, and it's been a little bit back and forth here on KAFE. It's been a fun one. Look, KAFE as a map is never really a map that provides the goods, guys. We know that, but it's gotten a little bit better as it's gone on. And generally for this map as well, as time has gone on, attackers have gotten a lot better at finding success as well. So I think that's also helped. You go back to, I'd say like winter last year, or winter down under, midpoint last year, stage 2, and KAFE would have just been a snooze fest. 70% defender sided, etc. It's gotten a lot better.
Who's that? Ethan. Tricking the garage. And he gets the X-Kairos. So that is probably one of the more phenomenal Electro Claw jungles I have seen on KAFE since the inception of this map. So well done to Ethan. Well played by him. There's Wildcard now prepare for their entry. Worthy's pretty hungry here. Man's been quiet in this second stage, and he'll want to try and post some big numbers in this match. At the very least, he'll want to step up again stage 3 as he gets lit up, forced back towards the objective, and Wildcard will be able to drop down and get some control for themselves.
Chance for the Chiefs to get match point. Again, they need to win in regulation. Xenox, fun fact for this match is that the Chiefs are the only team this stage to have not won in regulation. The only team. They are 2 rounds away from doing so on the final Playday. The final chance to do so. And it would put Wildcard in dead last. Minute and a half remaining, and they've just slowed down a little bit. Chiefs have really halted their momentum.
Sure have. Now the freezer hatch being worked on as Vinny taken low, but the wonder of Finker means that he is straight back up. And with a minute to go, we will hopefully see a bit of a duel out here, a 5v5 execute. Worthy low, Vinny low. Wildcard want to try and drop into freezer, get that plant behind the coffee chassis, but boy, with the nitro, eventually we'll shut down Vinny, and there's no coming back from that one.
It's not looking good for Wildcard. Once again, it feels like it's all on Kairo's shoulders to make something happen. Pat in preparation for the drop down, and a little sneak up on the digital timing. It's everything. So unfortunate as he whips out the gas babe while defending VIP. He dies to Kairo, who did a great job to just sort of sneak into that position. Watching down towards the corridor, Pat on site, planting, losing health, now losing his life to Worthy. After Voidy died to OJ. Trades go out, still advantage for the Chiefs though, heading into red time. Worthy low on health, but Ethan bouncing in the better positions here. Milo tries to shoot his way onto site, not happening. Match point for the Chiefs. Regulation win, 1 round away. And if Wildcard lose this round, guys, it will be a worst stage. I think a worse stage than actually stage 1 last year. If they lose this round, I can't believe I'm saying it. It literally would be worse in terms of round differential. Same points, but worse round differential. That is the stage in which they had their coach subbing in for the entire stage.
Yes. Jeez, that was a bit of a throwback now, having to think about that. But yes. It's been it's almost a little bit sad, I think, thinking about Wildcard's trajectory a little bit.
Yeah. You go back to Playday 1 and 2 of this stage. They were on Cloud 9. They'd won both their games. We felt as if, okay, they're here, they've arrived. They had the big test in Playday 3 against the Knights. They got decimated, 7-2. You thought, okay, is that a one-off? No, they lost to IG. Okay, they lost that test. Then they lost to Elevate. And then they got 7-1 last week by the Gladiators. So it's been a massive drop-off. It's all gone wrong. When maybe there was a light at the end of the tunnel, somehow they've found themselves having themselves in a tunnel that has got no ending.
Yeah. Unfortunate for them. For the Chiefs, though, on a lighter note, they've actually come alive a little bit in the last few weeks. Obviously too late, but still good signs. And again, curious to see what the team's going to look like heading into stage 3, whether or not there's any changes. what they are going to change inside of the server itself,
10
knowing
seconds
that
left before
their
insertion.
SI prospects are still very much possible, but
5 seconds
I would
left.
imagine they need to finish in the top 2 and go to the final major of the year to be any realistic chance.
Big games from both Ethan and Boydie, combining for 27 frags. This match alone from the two of them. Standout performance. Boydie more so in the first half, Ethan a little bit more here in the second half. And credit to the Chiefs though, it's easy to drop your heads after what's been a tumultuous
A bomb has
season.
been located.
And it started really bad. You know, big losses to Gaming Gladiators and Fury in Playday 1 and 2. Then they're kind of like must-win a game against Direwolves in Playday 3. Went the distance, 7-8. They just barely lost that. Maybe should have even won it. They beat IG in OT. It hasn't been all doom and gloom if you win this game. It ends up being kind of okay-ish stage, but not up to the standards of this team that they've set in the past. But at one point, it looked like they were going to go winless. So to get 6 points out of this stage would be a miracle from where it looked for them.
Minute 45 remaining though in this round, potentially the match as well. The Chiefs doing a decent job at the moment of just holding on to some of their map control at the moment. The entry though over towards top red will begin to pose issues for the defense as Wildcard look to progress forwards. Vinny to
Attackers
scout
located a bomb.
on the Yana. He can post up now and start sending out Geminis if required. Cairo as well. On the rappel over towards the east. Offering a bit of a pinch here for Wildcard, who have been slow and steady. And that's really been the mantra for both teams in a match where you would probably expect a bit more of that frantic gameplay when you consider the stakes.
Sometimes though, as one legend has said in the past, slow and steady wins the race. 55 seconds left. We'll see if the Chiefs do finish in first place here. Boydie holding cocktail. It's Bouncing and Worthy though that find the opening 2 kills and maybe find the opening of this wildcard offense. OJ gets one back, but I think the damage is done. Great shot from Milo. A nice Nitrocell from Ethan, though, does get the response that the Chiefs needed. Boydie, well, he has finished what he started. A standout performance from Boydie and from the Chiefs. They take out Wildcard. They are out of last place in the final game of their stage for Stage 7. Smiles even from Boydie, a referee in the end. The Chiefs take victory, and Wildcard season has come to an absolute crash and burn moment. Dead last for them. The worst stage in APAC South history for Wildcard.
Yeah, a little bit of a disaster in the end, but fortunately, I guess the positive side for the Chiefs, they were able to bounce back a little bit. Sure, it's a big disappointment and a huge step down from Stage 1, but they salvaged something, and the storyline for them heading into Stage 3 is going to be recovering for SI. I guess Wildcard echoing that as well. They're not probably going to be recovering for SI. I think that's basically completely off the table now, but it's about trying to recover themselves. Of course, with relegations potentially being a threat as well, it's going to be a really tough stage for them.
It certainly will be, and maybe even somewhat of a tough match to sort of dissect, but luckily, they've got the best in the business, and they'll be able to bring that to you now as we go back to the desk.